going to be talking about today, and then we'll start with intros.
Cool. Hi, everybody. I'm Paige. I don't know if I know most of you. It's nice to meet you. And we're excited to talk today. So we're going to do a quick introductions just for those of you who don't know either me or Katie. And then we're going to talk about Mission Scholars. Katie's going to give some background and then talk about some of the common obstacles that our students are facing, what the timeline looks like for coaching and what kind of commitment it would be, and the role and outcomes that we're hopeful for through this college coaching program. And then we'll definitely have some time for questions, and we're going to be chatting with a current coach, and then we've got a fun video from a current student as well. So that's the agenda for tonight. I'll introduce myself first. So like I said, my name is Paige. I'm the college success coordinator for Mission Scholars. So I've been working with Katie and the team for the last several months, and I'm really excited to be working on this. Previously, I was at Apple for 5 years. So I was in finance there. My last role was managing the worldwide AirPods and accessories sale forecast. I also did their financial development program and interned there while I was a student at USC, fight on. I studied business at USC after growing up here in Santa Barbara, and I went to DP here. Now that I'm back in Santa Barbara, I moved back with my husband about 1.5 years ago. You can find me walking on the beach with my dog. I love to read. I love eating around town in Santa Barbara. And I have started knitting. So that's another fun hobby of mine. And I'll let Katie introduce herself.
Thanks, Paige. We're lucky to have you on the team. So for those who don't know me, my name is Katie Kinsella, and I'm one of the co-founders of Mission Scholars and currently the director of programs. I'm also from Santa Barbara. Bob Nunez is on the call, who is my soccer coach growing up. So it's so fun to see so many familiar faces and just how, word of mouth in this town. We've really received a lot of community support. Mission Scholars has a lot of momentum right now as more people are recognizing the value of a program like this trajectory in life. So a little more about me. I went to UCLA, UC San Diego to get my master's of bilingual education, where I specialized in working with students from immigrant backgrounds, low-income households. And then I received a Fulbright scholarship where I lived in Colombia and did a research project among displaced Afro-Colombian populations. And it was there that I started doing a college promotion program and realized the power of a college education, not just in an individual level, but an entire family and community. So I was really excited to come back to Santa Barbara and build a program that does just that for our students here locally, which did not exist before Mission Scholars. And we bring something really unique to this population, and we're really excited to do so. I'm also, if you know me, I'm very passionate about health and nutrition and exercise. And so I also have created a curriculum for SAMSUM called Veggie IQ, where we help teens learn about health and wellness. And I love doing Zumba classes at Carrillo Rec Center. If anyone's in Santa Barbara wants to come with me, kayaking, hiking, I love getting outside. But really, I'm just on fire, very passionate about the work that we're doing at Mission Scholars, and I'm excited to expand and grow our team and our services. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so some of you have familiarity with Mission Scholars, but I figured I'd just start with kind of the basics and what we do. My colleagues and I, Cassie Lancaster and Kim Phillips, founded Mission Scholars to really level the playing field in college admissions and empower very motivated students from low-income backgrounds on the path to college, and then also path to career as well. And we founded Mission Scholars in December 2018 to address this gap in educational opportunity that exists in Santa Barbara. So we use comprehensive college admissions counseling, mentorship, career development to help these students reach their full potential and really become agents of change, trailblazers in their families and their communities. So the first half of our program is college access. That's what we do with high school students. We help them apply to college, apply for financial aid. We run a bilingual parent outreach program, so we're educating the parents on the higher education system as well. And we created that because of this alarming statistic that only 10% of low-income high school seniors and Santa Barbara Unified District high schools are on track to enter four-year universities. Only 10%. So that's lower than the state average. And to us, that was deeply unsettling. So for all the wealth and resources that exist here in Santa Barbara, our community is really struggling to support the students who need it most. And that's why we started Mission Scholars to change that. And that's what our college admissions program, the first half of our program here in blue, works to accomplish through group workshops and one-on-one guidance and meetings to help our students get into and afford a four-year degree. So what's unique about Mission Scholars, and this is where you all come in, is that we don't stop once students get into college. For many, that's where a lot of the challenges begin. Specifically, our students are mostly first generation, first in their families to go to college. So many of their families don't have that institutional knowledge, or our students don't have mentors just built in within their families who can help them navigate some of the challenges that come up through university. So that's why we built our college success program to support our students all 4 years throughout college. So that includes, we do a college study skills transition workshop. So they're learning about the transition to college and how to thrive, not just survive. We also have the college coaching mentorship program, which is why all of you are here today, where we pair one student with one individual who is willing to mentor the student for their entire college journey virtually, because many of these students are at different universities around California and around the nation. And this program we piloted 2 years ago, and it's just been incredibly successful. And even during a pandemic, when many of our students were starting their freshman year from their parents' living rooms and Zooming into lectures, our mentors and college coaches were instrumental in their ability to succeed. Many landed exciting internships in their fields during summer. Many successfully reapplied to scholarships. And we just attribute their smooth transition to college because of the support of our college coaches. Other things we do for students throughout college is financial literacy training. We help them create budgets and understand the impact of, if they do need to take out loans, what that looks like long-term, and how to budget that with work study and various opportunities. And then our Leaders in Transition, our LIT program, is a 4-year career development program. So this really, the emphasis here is to help students secure internships each summer of college so that they're in a position to launch their career when they graduate. And we're proud to report that the Mission Scholars model really works. Currently, 93% of our students are enrolled in 4-year universities, and over 83% of their combined 4-year cost of attendance is covered by outside scholarships. So that's really exciting to us. Many of our students are on full rides at really top universities. So yeah, we're excited to share more. So Paige, you can go to the next slide. Here's just some pictures of our students. Right now we have 47 Mission Scholars students in college. Our oldest cohort will be juniors in college in the fall. And we have 23 high school students about to start the college application process this summer. And as I mentioned, our organization has a lot of momentum right now. We have built this team of incredible volunteers. We have over 60 volunteers in the community. Counselors and administrators and teachers in the schools are so excited a program like Mission Scholars exists to really fill the gap, and they send students and refer students. We're able to take more students each year, and we're growing and hoping to scale our successful program to reach even more communities in the future. So Our class of 2022 on the far right is the group that you all will work with if you decide to become a college coach. They're a group of 20 high school seniors. In this picture, there were just a few here when we were celebrating. They all wore their college sweatshirts and t-shirts where they'll be attending in the fall. We selected them for specific reasons. They are fiercely determined. They are resilient despite so many obstacles that they faced. Their academic performance is just unbelievable, especially in the context of what they've had to overcome. And they've shown leadership in their families and their communities. They're truly exceptional, and I'm excited to introduce them to you. But I think when I think about this class and all of our mission scholars, what stands out to me most is that not necessarily their transcripts or their resumes, which are very impressive, but it's that they have this shared desire to give back. They want to give back to the community that raised them. They want to come back to Santa Barbara after they graduate and mentor younger students who want to become business owners one day. They want to be successful themselves so that they can show their younger siblings and younger cousins and neighbors what is possible and that college can be for them too. And so that's really what motivates us and gets us so excited. And that's why the college coaching program is so important. It's so much bigger than just helping these students graduate college. It's really about promoting college success so that they can then return to our community and inspire the next generation. And that's really what we believe. That's what it takes to create long-term change in our community. So that's kind of a broad level overview. We'll be getting into the details about what that looks like in a practical way. But before we do that, I want to introduce Kate, who's on this call. Kate Jeffrey is a college coach. She has been for the past 2 years. She's mentoring one of our students, Kathy, who's at USC, who will be a junior. And she also is a senior analyst at Appeal Sciences. But Kate and Kathy really developed just this meaningful, impactful mentorship relationship. And you'll hear from Kathy later on a video about what it's meant to her to have a mentor and to just have someone in her corner. But Kate, I want to give you a chance to just share about what it's been like as a college coach, maybe share some highlights or what has been most meaningful for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for being here. This is super exciting. I know Katie and Paige have put so much effort into this program that really does make a huge difference for these students. So like Katie said, 2 years ago, I started mentoring Kathy. I was her college coach, and I'll be honest, I definitely felt a little bit underqualified or just hesitant about my qualifications for this role. But truly this program really just is about showing up for these students and being just a consistent supportive figure in their lives. And I think especially with Kathy's class starting their college journey from home, it was really cool to have that first year to develop our relationship and that trust building throughout that first year, where she was just trying to navigate so much unknown. And then by the time she ended up going onto campus at USC for her second year of college, we had already kind of developed that relationship. And it was really awesome to hear her confide in me in the different struggles that she was facing in coming onto campus as a sophomore and feeling a little bit maybe behind the curve, but just helping her remember that there was nothing that we could do about that situation, and just helping her do the best she could to get acclimated. And I think that the most impactful things for me in our relationship have just been watching it develop throughout the past 2 years. It definitely started out a little bit more timid, these students are coming into this relationship not really knowing you. And so building that foundation for relationships that you can have good open dialogue, and for them to be able to trust that you have their best interests in mind, which is a really cool thing to have as a college student. I know that I relied on my older sister a lot because she was a couple years older than me, and I knew that she had just done it. And so I could kind of direct all of my questions to her. And so I kind of see my relationship with Kathy a little bit like that. Like I've done things a few years ahead of her. And so being able to recount my experience and help her navigate the different complexities that are like just college, campus, like dorm life, trying to manage your financials, like working while you're a student, looking for internships, looking for volunteer opportunities, all kinds of things that are just tough to navigate on your own, especially when you don't have maybe a strong support network that's like gone through those exact steps at home. And so I think that that's been like really cool to see, just like our trust and relationship develop over the past few years.
Great. Thank you so much, Kate. Hopefully that helps kind of paint a picture for all of you about the experience. And I know Kate has another meeting, so she has to hop off, but does anyone have questions before we talk about kind of what that looks like? Any questions for Kate or questions on anything we've gone over so far? Okay, great. Well, thank you, Kate, for being here and sharing your experience.
Yeah, thank you.
And we hopefully will see you soon.
Awesome. Take care.
Yes. Okay, well, I will pass it over to Paige now to kind of talk about what that looks like to be a college coach and some common obstacles that students navigate.
All right, and we've got, just while we're here, a quick little blurb from Kate's mentee, and then at the end, we'll show a quick video that Kathy sent in because she couldn't be here tonight. But really quick, Kathy said, "Now that I'm in college, Mission Scholars has paired me up with a college coach who is so helpful and always willing to help me in every aspect of my life, not just academics. Because I'm the first in my family to attend college, I can't ask family members for guidance because they don't know how to support me. That's where the college coach comes in. Just having someone to set goals with and who can help me with my cover letter and resume has made a big difference in my ability to succeed as a college student." So I thought that was awesome that Kathy shared that. Now we just want to talk about, I thought Katie did a great job of outlining some of these, but we wanted to talk about some of the common obstacles that our students face specifically. As Katie discussed, one of the most important things for them in order to have financial success and stability and success in whatever way that looks for in the future is being able to not only get to college, but get through college. And one of the biggest barriers is finances, specifically getting financial aid. One of the great parts about Mission Scholars is that Katie and the rest of the team do such an amazing job helping these students get financial aid, but a lot of times they're not able to get that 100% coverage. And so there's a balance of whether it's loans or having to work an extra job or do work study in order to cover that gap. So that's an area where the college coaches can help, whether that's getting an internship. Today was exciting for me. I have a mentee in the class prior to this one. Her name's Yvette, and she wants to be a vet. So starting in February, we started talking about what it could look like to do something in her field of study. And we just started reaching out to places, including some of the local doggy daycare places. I don't know if there's any pet owners on the call, but we reached out to DOG and Camp Canine and they said, come back once you're back home. And so she took the initiative, went by herself today, and they offered her to start a job tomorrow. So that's really exciting. So she'll be getting to do work that's related to her field, as well as we've been chatting with one of the veterinary hospitals here in town, and they're going to help her do some shadowing days. So there's a lot of ways that, even though it's not necessarily oh, this is exactly the job I'm going to be doing later, this is helping her get a paid opportunity to kind of balance that out, which she needed this summer. Another aspect of it for financial aid is continuing to apply to scholarships. So a lot of times students assume, oh, I've applied before I got in, I'm good to go. But a lot of these are recurring scholarships where you need to apply every year. And there's other opportunities out there. So that's another way that you can help the students be financially supported, is through looking into financial aid. And obviously Mission Scholars helps with that too. But having those extra resources can also help with the burden that they face balancing work and family responsibilities and contributing to their family, which is sometimes another added responsibility that our students have. I think one of the most important roles of being a college coach is helping them learn to advocate for themselves. So we can be awesome advocates, like today, like helping her, Yvette, kind of get started in this process. But what was really exciting for me is like, I didn't drive her this time over to Camp K9. Like she went on herself, she asked for the job, and she's starting tomorrow morning. So I was able to like help do those initial phone calls and kind of teach her how to have those conversations in order for her to be able to advocate for herself and what that looks like. And the same goes for at school. Say you're struggling in a class. Like I know, certain classes can be trickier and you're asking your professors or reaching out for office hours. So teaching students how to do that in school is a super important part of the college experience. We also think it's important for students to understand how they can overcome social and emotional barriers. My mentee is a bit shy at first, especially with new people, but then once you get to know her, she's got an amazing bubbly personality. So how do we help our students kind of overcome any of those obstacles? And then finally, there's a lot of language needed to navigate college. So, what does it mean? One of the students talked about like having different types of classes, or how do I talk to a professor? Okay, I should go to office hours. Everyone tells me to do that, but like, what do I say when I get there? Or how do I write a professional email to my college advisor? Or if I'm trying to get an internship, how do I phrase that or do a cold call? So just some of this language and skills development that they may not have been exposed to, helping them overcome that is a really important piece. Next, I just want to talk through timeline. So what the process looks like moving forward is onboarding and training. And so getting a little bit more coaching beyond this initial meeting of what you'll be doing with your mentee, what the expectations are, as well as a matching. And so we want to make sure you're a good fit for your mentor and that it's a valuable experience for you as well. And so we'll work on matching this summer and then hopefully a meeting in August or September, ideally in person. If you're a student and you are in town, that's an awesome way to kind of get connected face-to-face before switching to virtual for those students that are at colleges out of town. And then throughout the year, it's monthly meetings. So whether that's via Zoom or phone call, whatever works best for you, just contacting your student and getting to know them throughout the year. We'll then send out quarterly report surveys. So that's just coming back to us with how your student's doing, any concerns that you have, any questions for us, you can kind of fill out in there. And then we also have quarterly training. So one of the classes that we did with our students this past semester was on mental health, and that was a really successful class. And so after that, what we also did is did a training with the coaches on here's what we learned about in that class. Here's some ways that you can follow up with your students about this. So stuff like that has been, I think, really helpful. And then we'll get to the end of the year and review goals. Hopefully you've been working with your student on finding an internship and then can support them through their summer job or internship as well. All right. And a little bit more on roles and expectations, and feel free to stop me if you have any questions. But the main way that we're hoping that you all can support your students is a little bit more than just like a tutor or some of the other programs we have. So it's not like you have to be, they're a math major and you're coaching them in their calculus class. That's not really the role of a college coach. It's more about, some days you're a counselor. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm thinking about switching my major. Here are the things to consider. How can I talk through this and think about that? Or maybe you're a connector and somebody in Santa Barbara who works in the field that your student is, or you help them Google all of the different places in town and just see what would be a good opportunity to them, or somebody that could be an additional mentor or could do an informational interview where they learn about a career that they might not know about. So really it's connecting your students with resources, as well as filling the gaps and offering support. Sometimes it's nice to have somebody who's not, a parent or a sibling are so intimately connected to you, to ask the scary questions or ask, what might feel like a dumb question or something maybe your parents or other support people in your life just haven't experienced yet. So that's another aspect of it, as well as just being a cheerleader for them. I think that's really important too. Just another person that can celebrate the wins as well as help them through, the first midterm that they bomb, which is, going to be a part of college life. And it's like, okay, you don't have to drop out of school. It's not the end of the world. Like, we can move through this. And what does it look like to reach out to the TA and study for the next one as well? So those are some of the elements, as well as what we have here, which is if you want to engaging in the leadership in transition in those meetings, as well as committed engagement, advocacy, and just being a source of somebody to talk to for your students. And then towards the end of the semesters, kind of a student info packet, understanding, what has your student been up to? Again, that'll all be through the surveys, and then periodic other meetings. So that's it for me on our roles and expectations. Katie, let me know if there's anything I've missed there.
No, I think that was a great overview. Thank you, Paige. Yeah. And I mean, the role of a college coach, it could be just an hour a month. So it's not a huge time commitment. We foresee their freshman year, them needing a little more guidance and support, especially as you're establishing, building that positive rapport and the trust with your student. So that is once a month for that first year. And then as it continues, some of our coaches have found different methods successful. So some people check in once a quarter, and then occasionally they'll text updates or email. Sometimes if people, this is a virtual program, but for people who are in Santa Barbara, and the student comes home for winter break or summer or spring break, they meet in person and grab coffee with their mentor, which really helps kind of solidify that connection. So it's really not a huge time commitment, but the impact is great. It's very profound for these students.
Yeah, I've even noticed that, just over this first year with Yvette, going from even in the beginning of freshman year, it can be a little bit more time consuming, just helping them. And again, time consuming can look like maybe 1 to 2 hours a month, right? Or even it's a text, hey, how was your first week? Like that sort of thing. But as she's progressed, she's really, become a little bit more independent. And that's not a failing of a coach, but I would say more of like a sign that they're succeeding and doing really well and don't need as much hand holding. So it's been cool seeing how different coaches have adapted to, whether it's a full hour Zoom call to then turning into it being like, okay, we have our hour Zoom call, but then texting during the week, or, hey, I have a question about this, and answering it quick over text can be really helpful too. And yeah, this slide just shows, we just want to reemphasize that it's not just about making sure the students have perfect grades. We really are instead focused on a well-rounded college experience that leads them into a career that they're passionate about. And again, coming back, whether it's to this community or wherever they land, and being successful in whatever terms that looks like for them. And so having a college coach is just another resource and source of encouragement as they figure that out in this exciting transition plan. So those are, there we go. Oh, and so Katie, unless you have anything else to add, I thought we could share the video from Kathy.
Yes. Yeah, go for it.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I couldn't join the meeting like I wanted to, but I still wanted to share a bit about how much this mentor-mentee program means to me. And I can't really put myself in your guys' shoes to know what you're thinking or what you need to hear. But I guess for this, what I did was kind of imagine what I would have wanted to say to my mentor, Kate Jeffrey, 2 years ago when she was considering becoming a mentor. So I kind of wrote this for her. Hi, Kate. I know you're fresh out of college yourself and that you don't know me. My name is Kathy. I've got big dreams, and I could really use someone like you to be a compass for me as I navigate through the rough seas that are my next 4 years. I'll do my first year online, and I'll be really disappointed. I'll still make friends and get good grades, but I'll feel guilty for all the time I'm not spending with my family. I'll need a lot of help to understand how natural that is. My second year, I'll finally get to be on campus. I'll go through the excitement of moving in, making tons of friends, and having fun at sports games. But once birthdays and big things come up, I'll once again need help fighting the guilt of not being home with my family. I need you to encourage me to take on a lot more than I think I can handle, because you know I can, and I can. I'll need you to remind me that college is about more than just my GPA. And when I land in the ER, I still want to.
Can everyone hear it? I lost the sound. No. Okay, I think we just lost the sound, Paige.
Okay, I'll go back a second. Sorry about that.
No, no worries.
Care of our mind, body, and spirit
Good.
first. I'll come to you to share my problem. Hi everyone. About more than just my GPA.
Sorry.
The person I look up to most, to share my laughs, my excitement, my failures. But I'll also come to you to share my laughs, my excitement, and my successes. Pretty soon too, you'll be the person I look up to most. Through it all, I'll need you more than either of us can imagine. But I'll also be beyond grateful for every single minute we chat, every single mile you drive to come visit me, and every single joke you'll crack. All of you to the moon and back. LOL, that rhymes. So I guess now just to kind of address you all in general. Hi again, my name is Kathy Ramirez Gijon. I'm a rising junior studying mechanical engineering at USC. And I'm in the Mission Scholars Program because my dream is to graduate from college. And I've been working my butt off for it, but I could never say that I've done it alone because I've had a mentor by my side the whole time. And that has just been one of the biggest blessings and one of the best things that has ever happened to me. As a first generation college student, I can't really ask my parents about things like what pass no pass means. And even though I can Google that, I can't really Google, should I take a class with a professor whose research is extremely amazing, but whose rate my professor reviews could not be any more awful? And the answer is no, I can't. But that's why I need someone like my mentor, Kate, to talk through that kind of stuff with me, because she's been through things like that and she genuinely wants what's best for me. And that's just amazing, especially because I don't even know what's best for me. So I guess just with more students going through the Mission Scholars Program, I hope that, like Kate did 2 years ago, you all too choose to become a mentor and help make a local kid's dream come true. Thank you.
All right.
So Kathy had texted me. We wanted her to be on the call to kind of talk about her experience, but she's going to a graduation and she said, I'll make a video. And she texted me and said, Katie, I have a problem. I cannot make the video without crying because her relationship with her mentor, Kate, has been so meaningful and has been such a big part of her journey and her success, finding success on USC's campus, that just her heart and her emotion was really raw and beautiful to see. She jokes that as an engineering major, she's not typically in touch with her emotions, but she was has had a big impact has been made on her life because of the mentor. So that's the potential for what this could be. Okay, so next steps, and then we promise we'll allow time for questions if anyone has any. We have a Google form. Please submit it before June 1st. So it's basically just name, and if you want to sign up to become a college coach, And then over the summer, by mid-July, you'll receive a college student match. So that you'll receive kind of background on them, one of their college essays, so you can really get to know who they are, where they come from, what they value, some of their dreams. And we make matches intentionally because we want it to be a valuable experience for both the mentor and the mentee. And then we have a training packet that goes over, best practices in mentoring. It has the timeline, but basically the commitment is just you're meeting with the student once a month for their freshman year, and then staying in touch with them thereafter. For most, it will be virtually because the universities are all over. And then we have optional Mission Scholars like trainings with all the coaches once a quarter that we always record via video and send out the link because we know people's schedules are crazy. And that's a time where coaches can check in and ask like, hey, what's going well for you or what's not going well? And we also provide trainings on mentorship strategies. And then hopefully you'll have your first meeting with your student before they leave for college. Some of them leave in August, some in September. For those who are local in Santa Barbara, you can meet in person, but that's not a prerequisite. It could also be virtual. And then just spreading the word as Mission Scholars ambassadors. If you know of anyone, we have 20 seniors graduating from college or graduating from high school who will be going into college. So we need 20 coaches because we really believe in the one-on-one model is really effective. So if you are thinking of someone right now, oh gosh, they'd be a great coach. It's not too late. We'll send out this info session and they can sign up and we can add them to the list, or I'm happy to jump on a call as well. So any questions for us about the process or what it looks like? Anything we haven't covered.
Katie, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's Bob. How do you choose your students that get into the program? How do they apply, and what enables them to get in the particular program? Is it academics, and what's the process like?
Great question. Yes, so we select students when they're juniors in high school, and it's a really competitive, highly selective process. So we're looking for high-performing, really determined students who are local in Santa Barbara, who come from low-income families, so who maybe don't have the roadmap to college, but they know they want to go to a 4-year. So we look at their transcripts, their resumes, how they've shown leadership, which sometimes isn't what you would traditionally think of a leadership like ASB president or captain of the soccer team. But many of them show leadership in their families. They take care of their younger siblings, and they work at Panda Express, and they're pulling all A's in high school classes. We look at how much they challenge themselves academically if they're taking harder classes. So those are all things we look at, but really specific is the level of determination. We want this to come from the student. No one's signing them up for this program. Their parents sometimes aren't even aware of their plans of going to a 4-year or aware of Mission Scholars. So these students are really determined to be the first in their families to go to college. And we take about 20 students per grade. We're expanding that a little bit each year, hoping to reach even more students in our community because the need is there. And we follow them, as you see, it's really a 6-year program. We have them basically for 2 years in high school and then 4 years in college, all the way through that career launch. So it's really a time where you can make a huge, huge impact on a student's life and a family's life too.
Katie, can I elaborate on that question one more time? I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go for it.
This would be interesting probably to everybody. I met this kid. I told you about him. I met him at a Teddy Bear Cancer Foundation fundraising. And my wife and I were there as guests of a couple that had bought a very expensive table. And this kid got up there and gave the most amazing presentation in front of, 300 people. And he got a standing ovation. But the kid he's starting behind, I guess is what I want to say. The kid's incredibly determined, but he went and he had brain cancer at the age of 11, was hospitalized for something like 8 or 9 months. So, he's kind of starting behind everybody. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. does a kid like, do we recognize or can we recognize a kid's potential if he
Yes.
started behind the ball? In other words,
Yes.
he hasn't taken AP because he had to learn how to speak again, that kind of
Right.
thing. And
Absolutely.
even now he stutters a little bit as he tries to get the words out, but the neurosurgeon that spoke about him said this kid's going places. As he,
Mhm.
I mean, that's the kind of kid he is, but he is behind. How do you deal with the kid? How do you recognize a kid's potential when he's not up to par with all of his classmates, even though he's getting good grades, but not in APs, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah, we do take it in context and look at the students holistically. We have many students who sometimes their counselors don't challenge them or they don't know that AP and honors classes are an option for them. They're not getting that guidance elsewhere. So maybe they're getting like good grades in lower level classes or they just don't know. And so we never discredit a student for not having those kinds of resources or that wherewithal, to take the higher level classes. But yes, we do look for potential. We do look for students who have shown resilience. So that it sounds like the student would be a good candidate for mission scholars for the college access side, but I can definitely talk to you more and share the link and everything like that with you.
Okay, we'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will there be a training for us regarding financial aid and such? Because I have no idea how to answer those kind of questions. And are there resources available that you can provide for us, or we can call someone and say, tell me about this?
Yes, that's a great question. So many of our lit workshops and financial literacy trainings are for the students throughout the year, for the college students throughout the year virtually. And we will invite college coaches to attend those trainings so that they know what's being taught to the students or, what we're asking them to do, like their action items. And we see the college coach as kind of being the connector. So we present, okay, students, this is what you need to do, reapply to these scholarships. And we give them the scholarship databases and everything like that. And then the coach just helps them kind of follow up on that, making sure they're hitting deadlines. But yes, we do have training materials. I guess being a college coach doesn't necessarily require any like specific, financial aid knowledge or experience. It's really just being willing to help the student figure it out. Mission Scholar staff is always a resource, but those lit and financial literacy trainings throughout the year are really useful for coaches so that you just know what we're asking them to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd add on that too. I think that connector language, like Katie used, is really important. It's like you're a facilitator more than like you are a, Spanish class tutor or a college admissions expert. It's really just like getting to know, like, oh, are you worried about like how you're going to pay for school next year? Like, let's connect you to the resources to help make sure that's not an obstacle for you. And then if there are like questions you have specifically, either like sending them our way or, researching it with them together.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
I have a couple.
Yeah.
You hear me? First of all, it's a very impressive program. There are a number of questions that come up though, just about I'm from out of town. And I've done some coaching before and spoken on career search, which I'm very passionate about. I don't think this gets enough attention until somebody graduates. But it's clear that you've decided to focus on a relatively few amount of students and spend a lot of resource on them. Why instead don't you do 4 to 5 times as many students without quite as much resource? It sounds like really incredible work you do, but on very few people.
Yes, good question. We've gotten this question before. So we have determined with this demographic, this is what it takes. It takes this depth of service and, kind of like around the clock, individualized attention, college counseling and essay editing. Students write multiple drafts on the college access side, having their own coach to get them through, having someone to call when, make sure they're filling out their deadlines. scholarship help. And then really once they get to college, it continues, and it takes that kind of wraparound service to get a student to and through college, specifically students from low-income first-generation backgrounds who maybe don't have that support. There are programs that exist in Santa Barbara who do not the same thing, but who do similar fields of work that work with a ton of students. And there's not a lot of depth of service. And those are the students who are dropping out and not able to finish university, or students who don't even know that they're in the program. We've seen that a lot. So our model we created to really provide proof of concept that this works. And then as we grow in our funding and capacity building in terms of staff, yes, we want to help more students. The students that we can't take into Mission Scholars every year are the ones that keep us up at night. And we try to provide community resources and always point them in the direction of their counselors and other local resources to help them. But the goal is to reach more students by doing more community focused work as well. Hopefully that helps to answer your question.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else have questions? Well, we can go to the next slide. There are more ways to get involved in Mission Scholars. This is just one of the volunteer opportunities. But if you're on here listening thinking, gosh, I'd love to help a student edit their essay or help apply to colleges, even tutoring some of our high school students in Santa Barbara, you can become a college application season volunteer. Or a LIT program volunteer. So that's our four-year career development training program, where we have monthly virtual workshops on various topics related to career development and internship search, writing resumes, facilitating virtual career panels. It's another way to get involved. And then just connecting Mission Scholars to your social networks and individuals or companies or family foundations in the community. You can also host a Mission Scholars event and invite your friends to learn more about our program. And then, of course, this opportunity to become a college coach, really supporting our students through college once they get there. So those are kind of all the ways. And then if you're not already, please follow us on social media, because that's a great way to get more of a feel for what we do and what kind of students we work with, and the universities where they'll be attending in the fall. Okay, well, we'll hang on a little bit to the call if anyone has any individual questions, but for the rest of you, thank you so much for taking time out of your Monday evening to be with us and learn more about this exciting volunteer opportunity. And we hope you'll join the team in helping us just really impact the futures of some of our students.
And I've sent the sign up link in the chat for anyone who wants to grab it from there. And then I'll also send it out with this recording, and feel free to share this with anyone else you know in town, even if it doesn't work for your schedule right now. We definitely want to have some great coaches for our students, and really appreciate you spending the time with us tonight. So thank you.